What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when the bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling, I could swear that I was falling. Why, it's almost like being in love. Hello friends, this is Christopher Davis-Shannon, and this week we're working on the 1950s hit from the musical Brigadoon, Almost Like Being in Love. Now we just went through a nice little play along of this, so in the video we're not going to be discussing those chords, but some alternative chord voicings that we can use to really spice up the harmony in this. But first let's look at the introduction. For the introduction we're going to be starting on the 4 chord, a B flat minor 6th. Now if you're playing low G uke, we're going to end up kind of with this G pedal point just ringing out, and that's going to sound nice too, but this will act more as a G minor 7th in that context. Kind of cool how it works. We get open 5, 6, 5, and we're just going to walk 8th fret with our pinky and back down and then pluck the E string. So we get, and then I want you to lay a bar across the 4th fret, omitting the G string, so open 4, 6, 4. This is an E diminished 7th chord. And do the same exact thing. Right, so our first little lick sounds like this, nice and tense. And then we're going to go down to a C minor 7th chord, but this is one you probably haven't played before. Just take this bar and slide it back. One more fret. Right, so we've opened 3, 6, 3. I love this C minor 7th. Very closed position voicing for it. Because we have all those notes in order with the 3rd in the bass or the 5th in the bass, depending if you're playing low G uke. And then for this, we're going to use our added note to add a D on the 5th fret of our A string, and back down to that B flat again on the 6th fret. So we get, and then we're going to do an F7 sharp 5, 2, 3, 1, 4. That's C sharp up top. So our whole lick sounds like this. You can arpeggiate that last chord if you want. And then your starting vocal note is the F on the 1st fret of our E string if you need to grab that. So now let's look at some fun chords we can use over top of this. The first chord that we have in this song is a B flat major 7th chord, but what we're going to do is add the 9th to it. So we're going to play 3, 5, 5, 3. It's a nice cluster chord. What a day it has been. We get some tension, although it's a nice consonant chord. What a day this has been. What a day this has been. And we walk it down to a C 9th chord instead of a C 7th in the 2nd bar, adding a D to it. So we have 3, 4, 3, 5. What a day this has been. What a rare. And we're playing A minor 9. So we're staying right in this 3rd fret region, but we're going to play 5, 4, 3, 5. So just these first couple chords. And then we're going to go to a D minor 11th chord, which is a D minor chord, but we're going to add an 11th to it, the G, right? So if you're on high G, you can actually do this really easily. You can go open 5, 5, 5. But I've written it on the chart as 5, 5, 3, 5, so that this works for low G as well. Because you don't want to have that extension in the bass. And then we're going to do our 2, 5, 1 G minor to C 7th. we're gonna do G minor, 3, 5, 3, 5, to the C9 again, then resolve to F6, straight across the 5th fret. So here's what our harmony sounds like. I want you to listen to how close all of this stays to each other. Da da dee da do dee da da dee da do dee bo do dee do do dee do do dee. And then to get our turnaround here, because we're going to a B flat chord. This is our 4 chord, right? F sounds like it's home to us, but that's not where the tune starts. We need a way to get back to this B flat. There's a lot of ways we could do this. I've used a diminished passing chord. I've used an F7 with a sharp 11 here. Sounds like a lot of fun. It's really not that fancy. So we have E flat, A, F, B. What's happening is we're walking down to that B flat on the 3rd fret. That's really what's happening. So we got F6th, and then back to our B flat major 9 chord. We could play B flat major 7 if you wanted. So our turnaround is almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face, right? And then we just repeat those chords. So let's listen to that whole little A section. What a day it has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Well, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Well, it's almost like being in love. So that's just some alternatives for our A section, and feel free to pick and choose from that earlier version we did in the play along with these chords, depending on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes this B flat major 9 sounds a little tense because we're singing this note here. That C up top is kind of rising above our voice. So maybe you like da 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 dee, and then walk up to the C9. You know, there's a lot of options here. This is just one way that you can go about it. So let's look at the B section. The bridge of this tune is really cool in the way that it plays with where the tonal center is. Remember that we're in the key of F here. But the end of the last A section, we're going to play an F diminished 7th, which gives us a sense of motion, but not definitive motion. It's not telling us to go somewhere specific. There's a lot of places that could resolve to. We're resolving to an E minor chord, right? E minor, A7, which is our 2-5 in D. We're modulating to the 6th, which is a pretty cool modulation, but major. A lot of times we do this as minor because our 6th chord would usually be a D minor 7th, but we're going to a D major 7th here. So we want to hint at that. And what I've done is an E minor 11th, 4, 4, 5, 5, which incorporates the melody. Our melody note is an A. The music of life seems to be. So E minor 11th, 4, 4, 5, 5, A9, 4, 4, 3, 4. Again, incorporating one of the melody notes, that 9th, the B. Life seems to be. So we're hinting at what's happening in the melody in our harmony. And we land on a D major 7th chord, 2, 2, 2, 4. Nice floating quality, and really giving us that we're definitively in D for a second here, that we're not in F anymore because this D major chord has an F sharp in it. But then we have a problem because, well, we do need to get back to F for the chorus of the tune, and this is only an 8-bar section. So what happens? We play this D major 7th, then we're gonna walk up E flat. So this is gonna sound weird. 2, 3, 2, 4, and then walk up again to E, 2, 4, 2, 4, and that brings us to a D minor 7th. And now something's starting to move here, and it's pushing us somewhere. So we go E minor 11, da, 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 D. Add the bass notes, D minor 7th straight across the 5th fret, bo do D, do do D. G7th, open 5, 7, 5, a nice alternative voicing that we're already up here. So let's use it, do 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 D. And then back to our E minor 11th. So our melody note, again, is that A. We're playing an E minor chord, but the A is not contained in here. So by adding the 11th, we're incorporating the melody and really justifying that without losing the tonality of the chord. And then we're going to use that F7 sharp 11 again that we used at the end of the A section, which gets us back right to our B flat chord. Right, because it's pushing our motion. And we sound like we have that resolution to a B flat chord. Because this is actually a very hard thing for a composer to do, to modulate outside of the key and then get back to the initial key but not land on the tonic, right? We're not landing on an F chord where home base is. We're landing on the 4 chord, our next most stable tone in the key. So getting us there is actually rather hard, and the harmony of this bridge is rather ingenious. So let's listen to the whole bridge with these voicings and see how we get there. And D minor 7. And then we just continue the same thing, right? And then we just have this little tag at the end that we need to look at, and not too much different here. So once we get to the G minor 7th, we have our G sharp diminished 7th. And remember that our diminished chords can just kind of move all over the place, right? We have one shape for them. Here's our G minor 7th that we're on. We're just gonna move these 2 fingers up, and magically, G sharp diminished 7th. And then we can come up to F6th, same as we just did for the D minor 7th in the bridge. Walk it back down, and then G minor 7, C9, and heck, let's end on an F major 7th. So it goes like this. I could swear I was falling, I could swear that I was falling. Well, it's almost like being in love. So this whole A section says that little tag on there every single time that you play the tune. So take these new voicings and play it over top of what I was doing the play along in the beginning, and hear how this fits against the standard harmony and how this really extends that harmony and brings so much more to it. If you've enjoyed this lesson, I have lead sheets for both this version that we just talked about as well as the standard version, and the tabs for the introduction over on my Patreon. I'll also be releasing a video on Patreon this Sunday, our Coffee Talk series, where we go through the history of the songs and dive a little bit more even into the harmony of them. I'll see you over there.